On October 29, 1969, the first message was sent via computer network. It was sent from UCLA to the Stanford Research Institute. The message was supposed to read "login," but only got as far as "low" before crashing the network. Digital communication is a little more prevalent these days, with over 300 billion emails and 6 billion text messages sent daily. But it is no less capable of crashing systems. This is because a significant percentage is made up of unwanted commercial advertisements, which can hide malicious attempts to gain access to your computer. Phishing, because scammers use fake lures to try and hook unsuspecting victims. The PH is a nod to an original form of hacking called phreaking. Phone, because it used a recorded tone to make free phone calls, and phreaking because it was the 1970s. Phishing is a social engineering attack that tries to convince you to provide login details, transfer money, or download malicious software. There are different types of phishing, and each is very easy to create or purchase off the dark web. Phishing lures impersonate well-known brands or take advantage of current events. They try to elicit an emotional response and rush you into downloading an attachment or clicking a fraudulent link. At that point, a fake website is ready to accept your login details or download malware. Phishing targets large groups of people in the hopes that a small percentage will take the bait, so it has to be generic. The email may look legitimate, but it won't include any information specific to you. In fact, they'll often request information that the real organization should already have. Criminals often use email addresses that are close to the real thing, but not quite. They'll spoof the display name, but not the address, as spoofing both will get flagged by most spam filters. Or they'll use lookalike email domains, and they can't hide the true destination of their links. But what if the email did contain details specific to you? Many of the red flags that indicate phishing are not present in spear phishing because it doesn't target millions. It targets 10 or 5 or just you. Company directories, social media posts, and profile connections are researched to create a more believable lure specific to your role or interests. They may start with an innocuous email to create a pretext or scenario in order to build trust. They'll build up to their request and pile on the pressure, all while prohibiting you from contacting them via any other method. Depending on the target, spear phishing is sometimes called whaling. CEOs, senior executives, executive assistants, decision makers in finance, HR, or procurement, and even IT security professionals are all prime targets due to their level of access to company accounts or confidential data. It takes the same amount of work to scam an employee into transferring 1,000 as it does to get a CEO to transfer 1 million. From a criminal's point of view, it's just good business. As well as targeting CEOs, scammers often impersonate them or other trusted individuals in positions of authority. They do this to invoke a sense of urgency, and it is known as BEC, or Business Email Compromise. It could be an invoice from a regular vendor, but with a new mailing address, a request from your company's CEO to purchase gift cards as employee rewards, or a change in payment details for a third-party contractor. These requests are not necessarily out of the ordinary, and if the impersonated individual's email address has been compromised, it can appear very genuine. Email phishing is still the most common, but the rise in remote working has seen a corresponding rise in text message phishing, voicemail phishing, and phishing using social media networks. So what can you do? The volume and variety of phishing can be intimidating, but they often share common red flags. Public email accounts or lookalike accounts. Generic greetings are a red flag, but personalized greetings are not a guarantee. Poor design or spelling should raise suspicion, But be aware that many phishing attempts are almost indistinguishable from the real thing. Unsolicited attachments, requests for personal information, fraudulent links, unusual requests, requests to change established procedure or communication channel, and a sense of urgency. Don't let scammers rush you into a mistake. Closely examine communications for any of these flags, and where possible, don't use links or contact details provided in emails or text messages. Instead, navigate directly to websites and confirm any requests through official channels. Any requests for financial transactions or to change payment details should be verified in person or over the phone with a known individual. Cybercriminals are not the only security concern when it comes to email. Sending an email to unintended recipients can be a major source of data breaches. Before you send, stop and consider. Are you sure you or autocomplete has selected the correct recipients? Is your response intended for everybody on the mail? Maybe just hit reply instead. Check the entire thread before adding a new recipient. Your email may not be confidential, but others in the thread might be. A CC is public to everyone on the mail. A BCC is anonymous. Choose appropriately. Some email providers include an undo send option. Sending is delayed for a set period of time, and if you notice an error or an unintended recipient, you can undo before any damage is done. Check with your IT team if your organization has undo send. If you do send an email to the wrong recipient or you spot the signs of a phishing attack, report it to your IT security team immediately. Each attack you spot or breach you help prevent makes your company's security a little stronger.